Hello, Derrick Bilsby here, Chairman of the K&ESR Railway with my August update. I'm here at Robertsbridge station, which is going to be the westerly terminus of the K&ESR Railway when the railway is reconnected between Bodiam and Robertsbridge in 2028. If you want to know a little bit more about how we've got to where we've got to today, then there is an excellent video on the Green Signals YouTube channel. I'm here with Mike Hart today, who is the Chairman of Rother Valley Railway. He is also the Project Director for reconstructing the railway between Bodiam and Robertsbridge. Mike, what I want to do is to talk with you today about the progress with the project to actually make sure that people are informed how we're going to get the railway open in 2028.
Well, thank you, and what a lovely day to be at the brand new Robertsbridge station that, as you say, will become the western terminus of the railway, and some will hear a train in the background. We're right next to Network Rail, and the purpose of being here is to provide the interchange.
Yes.
And we just got the little job of building 3.5 miles of railway. Well, in fact, a bit less because we've already done some.
How are we progressing with the reconstruction work then, Mike?
Well, I'm sure, as many will know, out of the 3.5 miles, we've already built about 1 mile of it. We built a bit at the other end, near Bodiam. We built a bit here. We built the station. The last bit is what we call the missing link, which is 2.5 miles of railway, which was sold off to farmers many years ago, and we're having to return that to railway condition. Includes along half its length that very sensibly the farmer had the old embankment bulldozed out of the way. So we've got that and many a few bridges to put back. But this year's challenge, I say this year because you can't do a lot in the valley because it's very wet in the middle of the winter. So this year's challenge is to have a railway that runs from Bodiam down the tracks we laid a few years ago to Junction Road level crossing, over there and to just past the halfway point at Salehurst Village, just on the edge of Robertsbridge. And achieving that means that about half the railway, more than half the railway, will be finished this year.
I mean, there's been many challenges along the way, Mike, hasn't there? A lot of those challenges have been overcome, but in a project of this size, there must still be some challenges between now and when the railway is reopened in 2028.
My goodness, you're right, and I'm sure everybody listening will know the saga of HS2 and all its difficulties, and in a smaller way, we are the same. I'd actually go as far as to say, actually building the railway is the easy bit. It's all the documentation, the paperwork, the permissions, everything, which has taken us 14 years to get together before we could actually get on and build the railway. No particular civil engineering challenges. The earlier challenges were, of course, permission to put the level crossings in and various other matters, but now it's straightforward. Lots of bridges to build, embankments to reconstruct, track to lay, then we can run a train.
Okay, I mean, a very interesting point there, and it's one of the many questions that I get asked. What's happening with the level crossings? So particularly there's interest in the A21, but of course we've got North Bridge Street, haven't we? And we've got Junction Road, the B2244.
We purchased all of the level crossing equipment, the barriers and the computers that run them and everything else. We've had that for about 6 or 7 months. The company that manufactures them all got them in their warehouse up near Tamworth, and they're itching to come and put them in, but I've said bulldozers digging holes and delicate computer cabinets don't really go together, so it'll be a month or 2 before that goes in, when we're happy that we're not going to have to bring a JCB or something along, like, oh sorry Gov, I've just smashed up your level crossing box.
Yeah, no, okay.
We're off and running with them all, and the Green Signals video you referred to, it's well summed up by Lord Peter Hendy, who, when we were getting permissions, was the chairman of Network Rail. Now he's the Minister for Transport. And as he explained, there were a lot of concerns about the crossing, and he felt the message was, we have a problem on Network Rail because our trains go through them at 125 miles an hour. It's a very different context where your trains slow down to 15 or 10 miles an hour over a crossing. So the safety aspects are fine, and so they're all programmed. We're putting in, as we speak at this very moment, the first of the crossings just on the edge of Robertsbridge at North Bridge Street. End of October, we will be putting in the second one at the other end at Junction Road, so we can get the tracks over the crossing as I discussed. And then spring next year, when the fine weather returns and the dry conditions, the crossing over the A21 will be put in. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But
It does sound very simple, doesn't it? Yeah. I guess there's a lot of interest in what these the format of these crossings, because these crossings are new to the UK, aren't they?
yes, they're based on the European design, but as a Swiss manufacturer entered the UK market some years ago, we persuaded them that installing them here made it easier to bring visitors and customers along rather than taking them alongside the 125-mile-an-hour main line. So we worked together and in partnership, and what we're putting in is the most modern equipment and what we call a full barrier level crossing. So when the barriers are down, there's a seal to stop anybody being able to get along the track that connects into the fence. So you've got the traditional flashing lights that everybody will have seen, the pairs of barriers, one pair come down first and then the other pair, and only then does the driver get a light to say he can come over the crossing. But then on top of that, we have radar looking across the surface of the road to see if anything's moving. That'll stop the train coming over. And of course, cameras monitoring everything that's going on.
So of course, with the new level crossings, there's new operating procedures that go with that. And the K&ESR Sussex Railway and Rother Valley are working on what they need to look like so that we can train staff.
Sure. It's exactly as you'll find on one of the smaller Network Rail branch lines, so there's nothing there revolutionary, just a question of training our guys to be used to it.
I mean, the A21 is a major trunk route, but there is some civil engineering work that's actually got to be done either side to actually come up to that level between Salehurst and the A21 and the A21 and North Bridge Street. When does that construction expected to take place?
Yes, either side of the A21 is where the farmer, as I say, very sensibly removed the embankments.
Yes.
If you look down there now, you'll see that most of the fill has arrived to create the embankments. One always takes the opportunity when there's a big housing development going on, they have material to dispose of, has to come certificated from the supplier. So the material's there, it's just a little question of shaping it up into an embankment with a digger. Yeah. They tell me it's all straightforward.
They tell you it's all straightforward.
So yes, they will be going in towards the end of this year.
Yeah. So of course, like the operational end of the K&ESR Sussex Railway today, we're looking at actually installing reverse osmosis plants at Tensden and at Northiam. You're going to do the same here at Robertsbridge, aren't you?
Exactly. We bought all the equipment a few months ago, and the plan is that the equipment will go inside the carriage shed that's going to be built just a few yards from where we're speaking, because if you get a problem with anything with water, it's always in the winter and it freezes and it's horrible and you're outside in the snow. Yeah. So it's going to go inside the carriage shed for ease of access, and so not this coming winter, but the one after, when we build the carriage shed, it'll actually be installed.
What I'd like to move on to now, Mike, is the link with the national network. We know that we opened up that link with Lord Peter Hendy here. Can you just explain what has been put in and how that's going to benefit the railway?
We've been lucky since the project started that there was a small siding connection off the main line for maintenance trains, etc. at the weekend, but it was very short and you can only get about 2 carriage length train in there. So over the years, the first job was to put an additional point in to come through the gate to us. That was all done on Network Rail's property and was done by Network Rail, London Underground, etc. volunteers who came and did it for nothing, so they were trained. And pleased to say that when the local director for the Permanent Way came to have a look at that a few years ago, he said, it's one of the best I've seen. So we're pleased with that. Next job is that Network Rail took the opportunity of extending the siding so we could get longer trains in, because where that was, the embankment was starting to play up and threaten the main line. So we can now get big trains in. So it's what do you do with it? Well, from my point of view, in the construction period, I mean, we're about to bring big, long ballast trains in to take down the line, to ballast the new track, saving loads and loads of lorries on the road.
Yes, absolutely. The agreement with Network Rail then, Mike, is at the moment we bring empty trains across. Do we foresee that we're going to be able to bring passenger trains across that interface?
Oh yes, no problem at all. It's all signed up, long-term agreement, and we can bring whatever we want. You know, they have to be notified before, and they do a special notice, but we can bring whatever we want to.
I know that from my discussions with you that we're going to be building the locomotive shed and also the carriage shed later. So that's requiring fundraising. I'm just wondering how we're doing with the fundraising for the engine shed and whether you're going to be able to start work this winter.
And our commitment, as many people know, we have two very generous donors who are paying the bulk of the cost of what we described earlier as the missing link. Here at Robertsbridge Station, I said to them, we can't keep coming to you. We will find the money for everything at Robertsbridge Station. We built a wonderful station building. There's two other significant packages, the engine shed and the carriage shed, plus of course a lot of miscellaneous paraphernalia. So this coming winter, the locomotive shed, that will go up, and that's about 600,000, and we've got something around £100,000 to raise by the time we get to the winter when we want to put it up, and so we're confident that will happen, and been very pleased with how well the funds have gone so far.
I know that we've had talks with local politicians, and local politicians are quite excited about people being able to travel from Tenterden to London, but actually it's more than that, isn't it? So it's the benefits that the railway is actually going to bring to people from Tunbridge Wells, London, South East London, Surrey and also parts of Sussex. We've got other destinations on the railway, haven't we, that we can attract people to come and look at, so there's benefit for the local communities.
We can. This whole project is based on economic benefit. There was no reason at all to extend the railway from Bodiam to here, excepting the transport benefits of connecting with the mainline railway and the A21 road. And so bringing a few more people to this part of the country means there's more people spending money in the local communities, and it's helping the wonderful efforts that government and local authorities are putting into trying to build up tourism in the area. So we're a key part of that, and that's why we were given permission, because of connecting with the main line and the benefits.
Of course, the road infrastructure in some of this area is all kind of north-south, isn't it? There's very little east-west. So I guess that brings benefit for working with the National Trust at Bodiam. It
does, and the National Trust are wonderful people and work very closely with you and are very good friends of ours, and they're keen to see us reconnected here because their own environmental aspirations are to reduce car-borne visitors, and of course one way to do that for the castle is to encourage people to come here by train and then go on the K&ESR Sussex train out to Bodiam. So it's exactly what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and of course I suppose when you look at this, I know talking to local politicians at the Tenterden end, Tenterden for the first time becomes a destination, doesn't it?
It does, and what a wonderful destination, isn't it?
Jewel in the wheel.
Jewel in the wheel, yes, yes. And the other unnoticed attraction is that most of the locals have worked out you can have a good pub crawl. If you get on the train here, you've had one drink already, and if you stop at every station up the line, or every significant station to Tenterden, there's a pub not far away, so we can sell that.
Oh, well, look, thank you, Mike. We're going to now go away and actually have a look at some of the construction areas on the railway. So thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today. I'm sure that most of the people that look at our YouTube channel are going to find this very, very interesting, so thank you.
Thank you, and it's good the way we've worked so closely together over the years to plan for this, when the day when you'll be able to take a ride from Tenterden to Robertsbridge and from Robertsbridge to Tenterden, and you and I perhaps can put our feet up for 5 minutes when that happens.